This is big breaking news. An explosion has hit the U.S. southern border, and Texas ranchers and farmers are being affected right now. The Texas government is issuing a warning as well too, and the U.S. military and the Pentagon have deployed troops and assets to the border, and they are now working in coordination with the Mexican military as well too. So let's get into all the details here really quick, guys. Please just hit that like and hit that subscribe. I'm posting multiple videos every day, keeping you updated, and it just helps to get these warnings out so people know. So this is what's going on right now. Is southern Texas has been hit by an explosion, and tragically a rancher has lost his life from this. Right, this is insane that this happened. And this was a rancher that was 74 years old, and he was driving his car along the southern border near Brownsville, Texas, and this attack happened. Right, his car ran over a IED, a improvised explosive device, and his name was Antonio Saldirna. Okay, this is very tragic and very sad. His wife was also in the car as well too, and she sustained heavy injuries. All right, and she was hospitalized for this. And the Texas government is issuing this warning. I want you to listen to this as I read it. I'll show it here too. It says, a statement from the Texas Agriculture Commissioner Sid Miller on violence near the Texas-Mexico border. It says, quote, a tragic and alarming incident occurred near Brownsville, Texas, where a U.S. citizen and Texas rancher was sadly and tragically passed away by an improvised explosive device. This shocking act of violence highlights the growing threat posed by this activity along the southern border. All right, and you know how it is on here. That's why I'm trying to soften things a little bit. It says here, I urge all Texas farmers, ranchers, and agriculture workers who travel to Mexico or operate near the border to exercise extreme caution. The lower Rio Grande River Valley is a crucial part of Texas agriculture, and the safety of our agriculture community is of utmost importance. We cannot overlook the rising violence that threatens not only lives but also the security of our farms, ranches, and rural communities. He said, I encourage everyone in the agricultural industry to stay vigilant, remain aware of their surroundings, and report any suspicious activity to law enforcement. Additionally, you can avoid dirt roads and remote areas. Refrain from touching unfamiliar objects that could be explosive devices. Limit travel to daylight hours only. Stay on main roads and avoid these controlled regions. It says our agriculture family is the backbone of Texas, and we must do everything we can to protect it. Right, so pretty wild that this is what they're warning of right now, saying avoiding dirt roads, remote areas, don't touch anything, limit travel to daylight hours. All right, this is the United States of America, and this is the warnings that we are getting from officials in Texas. All right, it should not be like this. It doesn't have to be like this, but sadly it is like this. All right, and part of this situation is the Pentagon is deploying assets and thousands of troops to the southern border, and they are now working in direct coordination with the Mexican military as well too. Right, you can see here it says that Pentagon announces coordinated border patrols with the Mexican military amid push for immigration control. And it says that they will, quote, respect the sovereignty of each other, the Pentagon says. So they're working together to do these patrols on both sides of the border, and crossings have been way down. Right, way down. There's only dozens happening per day across the whole southern border, and at the peak of things a couple years ago, at the end of 2023, crossings in December were averaging 10,000 per day. It was over 300,000 people crossed in December of 2023. And now we're only seeing dozens a day and hundreds of people a month crossing, right? So big difference, right? Going from thousands a day sometimes in peak times to only hundreds in a month now, right? So this is a major change, and part of this is because the U.S. military has been deploying assets here, right? And something really quick too, I just remembered, we'll get into more details of this military deployment, but they issued a warning in Mexico, right? About a month ago, I made a whole video on this. Hit it up down there if you remember. Hit that like and subscribe if you remember this video. But I made a video about how the Mexican authorities warn that these IEDs are on the roads, right? And this is the area right south of Brownsville, Texas. It's Tamaulipas area. I think that's what it's called. I think I'm pronouncing that right. The Tamaulipas area of Mexico. Authorities there were warning that this is happening there, right? Just last month, and they're saying avoid the roads and dirt roads and avoid any suspicious things you see on the side of the roads. And then we see this, right, next month. So these things are happening, and they know about it too, and for some reason they just can't stop it, right? But the military has been deployed, right? It says here that the DoD noted that the deal, quote, emphasizes that each country will respect each other's sovereignty, and, quote, both leaders expect their agreement will serve to enable further conversations and coordination in greater details at varied levels to ensure the mutual security of the border, the statement concluded. It says the agreement comes 1 month after Trump took office. It says a senior official said that the average number of gotaways at the southern border has plummeted to just 132 per day in February, down 93% from the highest numbers from when Joe Biden was in office. It says increased law enforcement at the border also invited unwanted interactions from the other side of the border, from the Mexican side of the border, with U.S. officials. It says earlier this month, the Department of Homeland Security issued an alert saying that one of their helicopters was targeted by a laser from the Mexican side of the border. And they also think that members fired at Border Patrol agents near the border as well too, just days after Trump took office. All right, so lots of things are happening. These things are ramping up and escalating, and this is part of the reason why military units are being deployed there. All right, but it's one of these things too where our military is deployed all over the world, defending the borders of, you know, dozens of different countries on earth. We send our military in there to help defend their borders and their sovereignty. But when it comes to our own, it has been taboo to do that. It's been taboo to use the military and to use these resources to protect our own country when we have this quasi war, right, that's happening at our southern border, right? There are forces that are entering our country and attacking our officials and our officers, our military, Border Patrol, DHS. They've all been targeted along the border as well too. And we should be able to use our military to protect the people that are trying to protect the border, right? They need a extra layer of protection. It's not good enough what they've been given and what they've been doing. They need military protection and help to shut down this issue and this problem. All right, so let me know what you guys think down below. Please just hit it up for me down there. It helps to get these warnings out just so people know what's going on. All right, and be careful if you do live along the border, if you are traveling on any back roads, anything like that. It can happen, right? There's half the roads in these areas are dirt roads once you get off the main roads, and they're saying to avoid them, right? The Texas Agriculture Commissioner is saying needs to avoid it, right? And even his son, right, the guy that was sadly passed away, Antonio, his son is saying that this was a terror attack, right? That's what he's equating this to. And that's what he's saying. This is like a terror attack on his dad, right? That's what his son is saying. And ranchers are worried, right? Ranchers have to be carrying a weapon at all times, even on their own property, right? They're not safe along these corridors of the southern border and this part of the country. They are not safe on their own private property, their own ranch land that they own. Their families probably owned it for decades or maybe even longer, hundreds of years potentially. At least been ranching these areas with leases, things like that. And now their livelihoods are threatened too, right? They can't even drive their truck out here without being worried they're going to hit one of these things. This is insane. This is like a war zone, right? This is stuff that should not be happening anywhere near the United States. So thank you guys. Hope you guys are staying safe, staying prepared, staying stocked up. I hope you have big blessings for your life and your family, and I hope you have a big old blessed day.